What's up, YouTube? This is Paul here. So today we're going to be talking about how social media changed my life. Let's get started. Before we go any further, make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below and also click that bell so you get notified anytime I post a video. Now back to the video. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this is because I got a notification a few days ago that said, my Twitter account's 8 years old now. And I was like, that can't be right. But then I thought about it and I was like, that sounds about right. Because I was 11 at the time when I made it. It was July.
I didn't catch that.
What? Ignore that. It was July 2010. And I made it because I saw, oh, look at Twitter. It's a social media site that you can do read text-based stuff, share links and all that, and just keep up to date with whatever was on that platform at the time. And I liked it because it didn't require you to enter an age. You could just click I agree to terms of service, which I broke them because I was only 11 at the time. But I thought that was neat, but then eventually I stopped using it just because no one used that platform that I knew. I convinced maybe a family member or two to use it, but then they stopped using it too, so I stopped using it for the longest time. Then I got Facebook in December 2010, lied about my age, but got my permission from my mom to do it. I had relatives that were kind of mad about that, by the way. But I had a lot of friends that did that too. But either way, that was back when just social media was still young, because my dad even had, both my mom and dad, were getting Facebooks shortly after they both got divorced in 2009. And I thought that was neat because they could keep up with people that they knew. And so I just thought it was overall just good. Because at that time, people used it just to connect with each other. You didn't have fake news yet. You didn't have technology and just lifestyle influencers. But anyway, it's interesting just because you didn't have all these influencers back then that were doing social media for a living. I mean, which is interesting to think about because honestly we've came a long way from just sharing with our friends and family and playing Farmville, Petville, or whatever we were playing on Facebook, to even now just, brands, people, and just other stuff that exists online shares and promotes certain different stuff, whether it be, as I said, some kind of brand or whatever, a place, a political platform, a news platform, an idea that someone may have, whatever. It really has spiked up. I mean, even looking at it, I never thought that social media would go the way it did. Because honestly, I thought, oh, I'll get a Facebook, that'll be it. Well, since then, I've went back and I've started using Twitter again. I stopped using it for the longest time because no one was on it until years later. Got Instagram, which was funny because that was just, I thought it was a photo editing app. Because literally that's all that it was. Plus you could share pictures. So I transitioned over to use that as my primary social network. Got Snapchat eventually. Stopped using that, but starting to use that again. Sometimes with the messaging, but a lot of times see people's stories and stuff. I personally cross-post them to both Instagram and Snapchat, so not a big deal for me. Got YouTube, which is where this video is at right now. Twitch, Reddit. Got all sorts of different types of social media, not just 1 to 2 platforms anymore. And just interesting to see it because, it can be used for good or bad. Fake news is a thing. Or clickbaity news. Or just clickbaity topics and just fake articles or fake posts or whatever. That is the thing. That is the sad reality, but I still like to think it's good because you can see uplifting stories, see uplifting pictures and videos of pets on whatever social media. You can teach yourself stuff, like I taught myself how to build a PC from YouTube. But, I mean, you can just do all sorts of stuff. And, I mean, just seeing it go by, just the progression, I mean, it's become an integral part of our lives. Just starting out with, like, an idea from back in the MySpace days, way back in the early 2000s. I remember my cousin having one, and I thought, that's interesting. And I didn't think much of it. And now we're up to where we're at now. I mean, just even look at like Smosh or like iJustine or whatever. They were some of the original web stars of their time, and it is just launched up in the air on how things are progressing. I mean, because it is neat to have a phone in your hand and be able to stay connected. I mean, even back when I first got Facebook, I was, and even Twitter, I could text pictures and status updates from my phone, or use my iPod Touch at the time if I had internet connection. Then I could check it later on with either from an iPod or from a computer, or eventually a tablet. Then eventually I got a smartphone, so I could check it from even there. And I mean, just it really has flexibility to update in real time on what you're doing, where you're at, and just staying connected. And I mean, with that said, though, it comes its responsibilities and challenges. Like Facebook anymore, it's gone horrible. Well, I can admit that that's the worst one out of all of them. In fact, I use it mainly on my desktop and laptop now because I can use Social Fixer to filter out certain types of posts and to tweak it to how I want it to work. Then also you got other ones like YouTube and stuff that are playing around with just doing what is good for them and what makes them more money. Not to necessarily grow people like they used to anymore, but just to see what works for them so they can make more money in their pocket. I don't know how you would. I guess this would be rubbing money. I don't know. But I mean, just sometimes that stuff happens. But I think it's great that we do have some money involved, because that's how this stuff gets access for free, and how some people make the living to produce entertaining content, informative content. I mean, even like when I first was researching how to build my PC, that was like right around the time. Well, like probably about a year or two after YouTubers on the internet were quitting their day jobs to make that type of content to teach people how to do stuff. I mean, it's interesting to see how this goes. I mean, even at college now, it's like I have fun posting on stories and stuff, and when I go places and go to events, just on like Snapchat to see if it one of those special filters and stuff. But I mean, you can take it so many different ways. I mean, even just like blogs back in the day. Yes, people had to know your blog name and stuff, but that just was kind of more work. Well, now people can see it and engage, or choose not to engage. Now, I will say this: I wish some people, some sites would keep the user's best interest in mind. That is no lie, because sometimes oh look, the most recommended in your feed is the best way to go. That's not always the case, because I mean, you can miss post, and like holidays, sometimes I won't see posts until like a few days after. So you can miss posts, you can miss people wishing other people happy birthdays. I mean, it's just interesting. I wish most recent would come back as an option. Now, with that said, though, by having this most recommended, I've seen more engagement when that feature first came out on stuff than before across platforms. But it's just interesting to see how this stuff goes. I mean, heck, I'm waiting to see what the next big platform is and what the shift is gonna go. So, with that said, this is just a rambling video, but overall, I still like to think technology has some good, besides all the negative stuff that goes behind it. And I mean, even just keeping up people that I don't see anymore that I used to go to high school with. That's still neat to see what they're doing. And to even see people that I've known that I just don't even see around, even being at home and whatnot, and when people go off and do other things. But either way, bottom line is, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of me rambling about social media, but I think it's impacted me because I've learned a lot. I've learned what to and what not to post, and how social media can affect, whether it be you, a brand, and just all sorts of different types of stuff. Which, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.